help the farmers bridge that gap.
Yes.
Most of the areas where they get the fruit trees, you only find 1 or 2 types.
Oh, really?
But for us, we saw that it is wise to be able to have quite a variety of very many fruit trees, so that when a farmer comes in, it's a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can find all the different types.
All the different types of fruit trees.
Okay.
Yes.
But Kirago, why fruits? Because first of all, they take so long. Kabla uone mti ya maembe. You've taken some time. Yeah, so why did Oxfam decide fruits is the way to go, apart from just bridging
the gap?
Yeah.
There's this common saying that an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Okay.
So first things first is about your health aspect.
Yes.
The fruits have a lot of nutrients that are able to help you with your health. So that was aspect number 1.
Okay.
The second aspect was about the demand, because we realized that yes, the demand is very high, both locally and also the international market.
Okay.
And we realized that there is a shortage of fruits, or rather fruit farming within the country.
Yes.
And that is why we concentrated on the fruit farming aspect.
Yeah.
Most farmers are now shifting the focus. And this is also because of the returns
That fruits give you?
Yes. For instance, our favorite fruit is the Hass avocado.
Yes.
That is actually what we started with.
Oh, nice.
And you'll find that a fruit seedling, a Hass avocado fruit seedling goes for 150 shillings.
Okay. Just
but within 3 years, you are able to get about 3 times of the returns.
Yeah. 3 times.
3 times. So you bought it at 150. The cost of that seedling by the time you're harvesting is over 500 shillings. So basically what I mean is one fruit tree can give you up to 100 fruits within the 3 years.
So yeah, exactly. And it means that definitely you need to be patient.
You need to be patient. However, there are also other fruit seedlings that have a shorter lifespan.
Okay.
The likes of the passion fruits, the likes of the tree tomatoes.
Yeah.
We also have the bananas, the tissue culture bananas.
Yes.
Like for the passion, they take 6 to 9 months. The tree tomatoes and the bananas take 9 to 12 months.
Okay. So now when we come to the seeds, because you started in 2016, informally 2017, now you're in the game.
Yes.
Where do these seeds, because you said with Hass avocado, so where do the seeds come from? Do you buy the seeds? Do you import the seeds? What does Oxfam, where does Oxfam get their seeds from?
We usually do the propagation ourselves. And of course, when you start it informally, you have to start from somewhere.
Yes.
So there are those trees that we had already planted earlier.
In that informal time,
or even it was actually before.
Even before?
Even before. Those fruits have what we call the seeds, and that is where we actually started sowing the seeds from.
Yes.
So yes, you harvest the fruit.
Yes.
Once it ripens, you remove the seed and you sow it.
Yeah.
It takes quite some time, about 4 to 5 months. For it to be able to have what we call a ready state of grafting.
Okay.
At that time, we introduce what we call a scion. And that is the point where we do the grafting, and that is how the process started.
Yeah. So Kirago, who are we meeting from your team who will take us through, the seedling management, care, everything?
All right. At this point, I'd like to introduce Cliff, who is over here.
Nice.
This is Cliff. He's actually our representative.
Hi, Cliff. Hi.
He's going to take you through the farm, tell you more about the management, how we go about the planting, the disease control of the various fruit trees that we have.
Definitely.
Yes.
So you've left me in good hands.
I've left you in good hands.
Sawa sawa.
And feel welcome.
Asante.
Thank you.
All right. So Cliff.
What I'm doing is pruning.
Pruning.
Yeah.
Am I able to also prune? So Cliff, I hear that you have over 15 fruit tree seedlings up at Oxfam.
Yes.
And in this 15 bado kuna different varieties. For example, apples. Watu fikiri apple tu ni type moja ama mbili because of the color, the green and the red. But then there's Anna, there's the pink lady. Yeah. So take us through the different varieties you have here, and then start tuingie kwa the preparation of the soil before now we start planting the seedlings.
Okay, thank you. It's true we have a different fruit tree seedlings, whereby there are over 15 seedlings. So we have, like, for avocados, we have Hass avocado, Fuerte avocado. Those are 2 varieties in the avocado family.
Okay.
Then we have mangoes. For mangoes, we have 4 varieties.
Okay.
That is Apple mango, Tommy mango, Kent mango, and Ngoe.
Wow.
Then we have the tissue culture bananas, whereby we have the Williams, Fear 17, Giant Cavendish, the other one called Ngombe. Then you also have the plantain bananas.
Yeah.
Then you have the passions. For passions, we have the sweet yellow passion, purple passion, and the yellow passion. Then you also have the guavas. For guavas, we don't have a variety. We only have the pink guavas.
Okay.
Then we have loquats. We have strawberries. Strawberries, we have Chandler variety. Then we have mulberry. And then lastly, we have the citrus, whereby we do have Washington orange, tangerine, Pixie orange, and lime.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Cliff, for farmers who have the option of starting with a seed and grafting, what is the major difference between the two, and what's the advantage of one over the other?
Okay, mainly you find doing the planting or the propagation through the seed, you find it's kind of it's a long duration. It takes a long duration for a farmer to start harvesting or getting the produce once the tree matures. Because you find, for instance, let's say like avocado, if you plant it through a seed, that tree, for you to start harvesting, it will take like around 7 to around 8 years to get your first fruit.
What?
But when you graft the Hass avocado, maturity is usually from 3 to 4 years.
Okay. Which
So
is shorter.
Yeah, which is shorter. So you find by grafting, you shorten the maturity period compared with planting from the seed. Then also with the grafting, you find in terms of production, that is in terms of quality and quantity, it's much higher compared with one who's doing through seed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now we get into the soil. Of course, we have some fruits here. Yako ni
These are William tissue culture banana. It's called William.
tissue culture banana. And then mine is a Pixie.
Yeah, these are Pixie orange.
A Pixie orange. So now how can we get from the preparation of the soil, from this being a seedling, take us through that process until we transplant?
Okay, so basically you find first and foremost, what we usually do is you find these seedlings have been propagated using the soil medium.
Okay.
So first, before we even do the planting of the seeds or doing the propagation, we usually start by doing what we call soil treatment.
Okay.
First, the soil has to be tested, because these soils they usually have, at times they have pathogenic infections, or you might find the pH is quite higher.
That's true.
Or even you might find in terms of the nutrient aspect, the soil might be deficient. So we usually start with doing the soil test first. That one, so that we can be able to know the pH range, how nutritious the soil is, and if there's any infection.
Okay.
So once we've done the test and confirmed the soil is okay, we go ahead now to do the propagation. But if the soil has an issue, there are certain measures that are put in to rectify the situation.
Okay.
So what happens, you find there are different, like for the Pixie orange, I'll use that one as an example, the one you are holding. We usually start by planting the lemon seed.
So the lemon seed first?
Yes.
Okay.
So the lemon seed, you plant it first, then you give it around 4 to 5 months.
Okay.
At that time, it will have grown to a good height, which is now ready for grafting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after 4 to 5 months, you find in between that duration, what we'll be doing basically, there's something called reporting, whereby we have to report that seedling, because mainly we have to add manure, because you find as the plant grows, also it depletes the nutrient in the soil.
That's true.
So you have to do the reporting and then also the daily irrigation of the plant.
Okay.
So once it reaches 4 to 5 months old, now we go to the grafting stage.
Okay.
With the grafting, there are usually different grafting designs. One can do either the side grafting, the V-shaped grafting, or one can also do what we call budding. But either way, whichever means you use, so long as the tree is one which can be grafted and is compatible with the rootstock, it's okay.
Okay.
So after that 4 to 5 months, we do the grafting. Then from there, now the trees or the seedlings are put in a shade net.
Okay.
That is whereby in a shade net, it's a conducive microclimate. We try to influence the climate in which it grows in.
Okay, so you put them under like a shade.
Yeah, like a shade.
Yes.
So that one allows for the adaptability and also the quick healing of the grafting joint.
Okay.
So you find for the joint to heal, that will take like around 3 to 4 weeks. That's basically a month.
Yeah.
For the joint to heal.
Yeah.
Because for you to know the joint has healed, normally you usually find the scion, the one which you mount on top.
Yeah.
Usually graft it when it's leafless. There's no leaves on it.
Oh, there's no leaves.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you find the moment it starts healing, you see it shooting new leaves.
So you know that it's in the process of
Yeah.
healing. Okay.
So after 1 month, what we do now is what we shall call hardening off. Because basically now it shows the plant is now growing. By hardening off, now we now expose them now to the sun, direct sunlight, but not instantly. Like for the first 2-3 days, you can just be putting it out in the sun for like around 3 to 4 hours. But after that,
you have to keep moving it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But after that, now is when you can now expose them fully to the sun.
Okay.
So that is basically after 1 month from grafting point.
Oh, from grafting point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the hardening off, it's something that you can be doing for the next around 1 month. So as you can realize now, it has now reached like around 6 months.
6-7 months.
Yeah. So you find now after around the 6 months is now when that plant now ready to be sold to a farmer. And it's also ready to be transplanted.
It to be transplanted.
Yeah.
Okay.
But remember now when we did the grafting, the grafting tape will still be there.
So what kind of diseases are affecting the seedlings mostly? Or what challenge are you experiencing when it comes to diseases?
Now with the diseases, mostly find the main impact that we usually face with the seedlings, this effect of the cold. Normally find at times with the climatic change, it usually reaches a point whereby you find as much as there's no rain, but the temperatures are too low.
They're too low.
Whereby you find the plants don't get that exposure to the sunlight. So you find they start curling and some even might die. Because you find normally with the cold effect, the plant will start dying from the top, then the leaves also will be curling. So mostly that's really a big challenge we face. And then also normally there's what we call root rot. At times you find these seedlings, as you can see, there are some which need much water and some which need less.
Okay.
And there are those ones which you find they have sensitive roots.
Okay.
So normally the root rot is also something, but mostly the root rot affects Hass avocado.
Hass avocado. So does that mean you don't overwater them? Is there a certain amount of water needed to?
Yeah, because you find with the irrigation frequency, you find there are those ones which might be irrigated even thrice in a day. But for avocado, you find normally we usually give it one thorough irrigation.
One thorough irrigation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then another thing, as you can see, this plant, the grafting joint is at the top, but
top,
below it there are leaves which are developing. So you find that the leaves which are growing below the grafting joint, those are the lemon leaves, and which is not supposed to happen.
It's not supposed to happen?
Yeah, it's not supposed to happen.
Why?
Because most if you find you want this plant to be a pixie.
To be a pixie, not a lemon.
Not a lemon.
Okay.
So when you leave the leaves there, this plant, you find all the nutrient uptake
It's being
taken by the lemon and not the pixie. So you find in the long run, if you let it like for the next 3 months, this plant will be a pixie. It will turn out to be a lemon, and you'll also start seeing thorns developing below the grafting joint.
Okay. So in this case, because you've already told me that the below part is lemon, is that now constant pruning? Do we now remove the leaves, or how do you now take care of now such a pixie? Because you've told me that the lemon, eventually itakuwa a lemon fruit instead of the pixie. Yeah.
Okay, what happens is find this is a plant. So how you train it is how it will grow. So when you do the constant pruning, it will reach a point the lemon will stop developing leaves. So with the constant pruning, it reach a point this plant will stop developing leaves at the end, because you'll find with the nutrient uptake, the upper part will now have grown to be a vigorous. So you find like it will be much demanding with the nutrients. So all the nutrients being absorbed will be going to the top. But if you don't do that, then you find any nutrient taken, the ones which are developing below the grafting joint are the ones which will be benefiting.
Okay. Yeah. So we need to prune these ones after this.
Yeah.
Okay. Since we're talking about the produce that you get, for example, now the pixie.
Yes.
In terms of seasons and the fruits that we expect, how many fruits do you expect from such a pixie, and in the different seasons that are there?
Okay, for pixie, you find first and foremost maturity. For you to get to your first fruits, usually give it a duration of around 2.5 to 3 years. That is to get the first harvest.
To get the first harvest?
Yes.
Okay.
But you find in between, there's what usually called premature fruiting and premature flowering, because it's a grafted tree.
Yes.
You find there's this aspect whereby you find the scion is usually sourced from a mature tree. a fully grown tree.
Yes. So the top part that you were talking about, the scion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you find that tree, once the grafting joint heals, it will pick up from where the mother plant was, the edge of the mother plant. So it's bound to start behaving like a mature tree, but it's not yet mature.
But it's mature, yes.
So it start producing earlier and even fruiting earlier, but that's not recommended. So what usually advice is, when you see it's still short and it's producing flowers and fruits, you do the pruning. To allow it to focus on the general growth of the tree, which is to grow to a size that can carry many fruits. So now after that 2.5 to 3 years, you can be getting, for the first harvest, you can be getting like around 150 to 200, that is fruits.
Yeah.
But once the tree is now fully mature, when fully mature, talking about 5, 6, 7 years, you find the production will also increase for the tree.
Over time.
Yeah. So whereby when it's fully mature, you can even be getting like around 400 to around 500 fruits per tree, because that's the maximum capacity for the pixie to produce.
For the pixie, that's the maximum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we will talk about management, but before that, we'll be taking a quick break. We'll be right back.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome to the exciting world of M-Truck Solutions, your trusted provider for bulk SMSs. We also offer API integrations for all your communication and payment needs. We also provide you with tailor-made payment gateway solution to receive and disperse cash quickly, affordable and securely. Let us expand your reach and connectivity on USSD, SMS and voice today. Call us on 0723 030 030 or email hello@mtruck.limited.co.ke. For more details, visit our website www.mtrucklimited.co.ke.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back. If you're joining us, we are at Oxfam AG Limited, and before the break we're talking about seedlings, how you prepare the seedlings, and now we get into management. So Cliff, let's talk about the management of the seedlings.
Okay, so on the management part, you find it's usually a segmented process.
Okay.
Whereby now you find already the seedlings have been potted and they already been grafted. Or we can start from where you maybe, like for instance, the pixie where you've planted the seed.
Yes.
So normally you find there's one key requirement that one has to consider always.
Okay.
One is now that regular addition of manure to the potting bags before the seedling reaches a point where it can be grafted.
Okay.
So you find
between that 4 or 5 month period you talked about. Okay.
So you find like after every month you need to do reporting, because you find within 1 month this tree at a younger age, in terms of the consumption of the nutrients,
it's consuming a lot.
Yeah, it's consuming a lot.
Okay.
So you find after every month you have to be doing the reporting so as to also keep and sustain the quality of the seedling. Once the seedlings now have been grafted, you find still you'll continue with the same manure program.
Okay. So do you keep adding manure, turning the soil, especially if the seedling is just starting out, or how is that like?
I find like with that you can't do it that way. So basically what you have to do, you have to like tear the potting bag, because you tear the potting bag on the margin, on the edge here, to ensure the soil remains intact.
Okay.
So you look for a bigger potting bag.
Okay.
Which now you pour the manure in, then now you put
you take it back. So you have to do that every 1 month until it gets to the age of grafting.
Yeah, because you find with that at least you have to maintain the quality. So you find like after every month you are bound to be changing the potting bag and also the size of the potting bag.
Okay.
Because you find when you use a bigger potting bag, even in terms of the root development,
able to spread well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is one, the manure. 2, you find now after the grafting, there's that the timely pruning of the seedlings.
Yes.
So you find that normally the suckers for the grafted ones, normally the suckers are bound to grow below the grafting joint. Normally the trees are affected with the suckers, normally usually the citrus, then with also the apples and mangoes. So you find for the tree fruit seedlings, the regular and timely pruning is usually
is also
essential.
Yeah. Okay.
That is 2.
Yes.
Then number 3 is about irrigation.
Okay.
You find these seedlings they usually require water in terms of their uptake.
Yes,
so,
as they grow.
Yeah, and you find they require, some require much water, some require less.
Yes, you had talked about the thorough irrigation of the Hass avocado. What is that process like?
Okay, like I'd said, I find avocado at a tender age, they take much water.
Okay.
And then also you have to consider the water not to be excess.
Okay, so you don't want the rot that you talked about, the root rot. Okay.
So when you talk about the thorough irrigation, we find like at our nurseries, we usually do like 2 or usually do the irrigation either twice or thrice in a day.
Twice or thrice in a day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Depending with how the sun is.
The sun is.
So like find for avocado mostly, we usually spend much time there, but you find now the irrigation will be once there. So you find like if you're taking 5 minutes on tissue culture bananas, then you have to take like 10 on avocado.
The avocado thoroughly. Because you won't water them again because they don't like water.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you find that's what we meant by thorough, because you find that in terms of their uptake, it's usually demanding, but at the same time, again, they don't need the water to be in excess. Yeah.
Okay. So run us through a day-to-day coming to Oxfam. You have your seedlings. What is your day-to-day like?
Okay, the day-to-day like activities usually find each day we usually focus on specific seedling.
Okay.
Like today, we might say today you are focusing on avocado, today you are focusing on bananas. So you find like, let's say for instance today is avocado.
Okay.
When our guys report to work, there's one who's in charge of the irrigation. For him, he'll irrigate everything, all the seedlings. Then let's say if it's the day for Hass avocado, the team that we have, there are those ones who will now focus on doing the reporting of the seedlings. And then there are those ones who will now focus on if there are any ones which are either have any shoots developing below, or if there are ones which look likely to be sick, they are separated from the rest.
So they're isolated.
Yeah, they're isolated. Yeah, so you find that's what we usually do mostly. But you find each tree has a different management program. Like you find the way we do for the strawberry to be different to do for the Hass avocado. Because you find like a strawberry is a ground cover crop. Because it doesn't grow like a tree. So for the strawberries, you find mostly they are ones which are likely to be vulnerable. So you find like for them, they usually require much attention compared with how you'll manage the Hass avocado.
Okay. All right. So now you've talked about each seedling having its own different care. Now let's get into the costing, where we have this pixie. How much estimating would you require or how much is needed to take care of one pixie tree, or rather seedling, as it grows?
Okay, for a pixie seedling, when we give a costing from production, let's say when you planted the seed to when it reaches this age or this stage,
almost transplanting it.
You can talk of per tree, one can be spending like around per tree.
Yes, per tree.
One can be spending like around 100 to 150 shillings per
100
tree.
to 150 shillings.
Okay,
I hope you guys are getting that. Okay, 100 to 150. Now it's reached this age. I know this one was supposed to prune, but let's say this is a pixie and a farmer comes and wants to buy. How is the selling like of seedlings here at Oxfam?
Okay, the selling of the seedlings here, we usually want to ensure also we are pocket friendly by considering our farmers. So we find that the seedlings, they vary in terms of prices. And then also we usually look in terms of, I'm sure you know there are some fruits when you go to the market, they are quite expensive compared with the rest. So you find most of our seedlings, their pricing is also based on how the fruit So you find that those ones which are quite high and those ones which are quite low. Like for instance, I can use passion.
Passion.
Purple passion, you find we sell a seedling at 70 shillings. Because you find when you go to the market, even passion per kg, you find it also ranges at the same price.
At the same price,
But you find for pixie, we sell a seedling at 250 shillings. And when you go to the market, you might find a single fruit. If you go to the likes of Carrefour, Naivas, might be retailing at around 50 to around 70 shillings per fruit.
Okay.
So you find in terms of how the fruits is selling in the market, is also how the selling will be.
Okay. And now for fruit seedlings, or rather people planting fruits, how is the market like? How is the demand? Which fruit has a higher demand and supply?
Okay, in terms of demand and supply, these fruits have a different demand and supply pattern.
Okay.
Yeah, because you find that there are those ones which have a higher demand than the rest. Like for instance, at the moment, can say globally, you find the Hass avocado, the way they call it, the green gold, it has a higher demand compared with the rest. Because you find like in Kenya at the moment, most farmers are now focusing or shifting to Hass avocado farming.
Yes.
Because you find with avocado farming, the demand for one which you have in Kenya is mostly purely for export.
This is good stuff. Now here at Oxfam, for someone who would like to, start fruit tree, planting or planting fruits, do you do any trainings? Can people come and visit the farm? Rather, where can people find you if they want some of these seedlings and learn how to plant these seedlings?
Okay, in terms of our social media platforms, mostly we are on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
So we have 2 pages.
Okay, Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
Going by the name Oxfam.
The 2 major ones. One is called Oxfam Organic Limited.
Okay.
And then another one is oxfam.co.ke.
Okay.
Then now for the small branches, the one in Nakuru, we gave them a local name.
Yes.
Whereby for Nakuru, we are found with the name Mkulima Nakuru Farm.
Oh, Mkulima Nakuru Farm.
Yeah, then the one for Eldoret, Mkulima Eldoret Farm. Then for Nyeri, Mkulima Nyeri Farm.
Okay.
And then also for ones who are in Nairobi, they can also find us with Mkulima Nairobi Farm.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah,
so those are the platforms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, we usually use the platforms where many people place their orders through. Then in terms of the training,
Yes.
we have a team of skilled agronomists, whereby a farmer can either visit our branch, we train them from our branches, or a farmer can request for agronomists or other extension services for our team, for our field officers to visit them on their farm and train them from their farms.
Thank you very much, Cliff.
Yeah.
That was very informative.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cliff. That's it from us. Remember to catch us next week, same time but a different place, right here on Kilimo Diaries. So iko sawa hivyo?
Yeah.
Hey.
We value your feedback. If you would like to send questions, comments, or suggestions for your favorite TV47 shows, call us on telephone number 0740-047-047 or email us at maoni@tv47.co.ke. You can also write to us on PO Box 2358/00621, Nairobi. You can also drop your complaint or feedback at our offices located at number